Hi, it's Clemmy from the NARM Clinic. Now, we're all living in rather strange times at the moment and at points slightly scary times. And I know that many of us will be searching for different ways that we can protect ourselves and to protect our families. You only have to search into Google about coronavirus to be faced with a barrage of information on how to boost our immune system and hundreds of different supplement recommendations that claim to help boost the immune system. So in today's video, I want to explain to you and provide some clarity really on this situation and explain why we can't boost our immune system, but there are ways that we can support our overall health that help in turn to support our immune system. I want to share with you some nutrition and lifestyle ways that we can help to do this. So first of all, I want to give some background so that you understand why I'm saying you can't boost your immune system. So first of all, what is our immune system? So our immune system is our body's inbuilt defense mechanism against attack from anything that's not our own body. And that's things like foreign viruses, bacteria, or injury as well. So our immune systems help to remove any damaged cells in our body and also to initiate repair mechanisms so that our bodies can repair effectively after invasion or injury. Our immune system is our white blood cells, but also barriers like our skin and fluids such as tears, sweat, saliva, and also our gastric juices. So our immune system has a few different parts, but there are two important ones: our innate immunity and our adaptive immunity. So our innate immunity delivers a very rapid response, and it doesn't need to have seen the infection before or the invading foreign body before in order to work properly. So that's like our kind of inbuilt immune response. On the other hand, our adaptive immunity is the part of our immune system that remembers different foreign invaders, and when we come into contact with them, it remembers them and it mounts a really aggressive and rapid response to that specific invader. So that's the one that's adapted over time depending on what it's been faced with before, and it remembers things. So our immune system is incredibly clever, like our body is incredibly clever. And in order to work properly in terms of activity, it has to be in perfect balance. So we don't want our immune system to not work enough because then we're more susceptible to infection. But if it works too much, then it can go into overdrive and it can then end up accidentally mistaking our own tissues as foreign, and that can cause illness and damage in itself. And this is what happens and is seen in inflammatory bowel disease. So as you can tell, we don't want to boost our immune system, and we can't really do that because we don't want our immune system to go into overdrive, and there's not a way that we can properly do that. So our overall health can certainly be supported by a better immune response, but we can't actively increase its activity. For example, there are many nutrients that our immune system does need in order to work properly, and these include vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, iron and zinc, amongst many others. But it's really important to remember that supplementation of these, specifically some of them in large amounts, like vitamin A, can actually be toxic and dangerous. Now, the coronavirus is a new virus, and the scientists and researchers are learning new things each and every day about it. And because it's a new virus, it's one that none of us have immunity to unless you've been one of the ones who've had it so far. So unfortunately, no amount of supplements or anything is going to prevent us from getting it. The only way that we can avoid getting it is to practice the self-distancing and hygiene habits that the government has recommended to us. So what else can we do? So it's not all doom and gloom. There are absolutely things that we can do outside of that to help support our general health and to help support our immune response, so that if we do get it, it has the tools to fight the virus and to make sure that we can make it through the other side. So there are different factors in our environment that really can have an impact on our immune system and the way our immune system functions. One is nutrient intake and nutrient deficiencies. One is gut health, the other is exercise, another one is stress, and the other one is sleep. So what is the best way for us to support our immune function? Now, I want to reiterate again that the most important thing that we can do is to follow the government guidelines and advice and to wash our hands and practice social distancing. But it's also important that we do these other things to not only help support our general health, we should be doing these things anyway, but it is even more important at this time so that we can keep our health and our immune system functioning as well as it can do. So number one is nutrient intake. So it's more important than ever, I think, for us to focus on eating a nutrient-dense and balanced diet. It's something that we should all be focusing on anyway, but I think perhaps this will bring a bit more of a spotlight onto it. But what we always want to focus on is a food-first approach, not supplements, unless you already know you have a nutrient deficiency, which you need supplementation for. The one caveat for that is vitamin D, and the NHS and government do recommend that particularly during the winter months, everyone does supplement with vitamin D. So that's the little caveat there. But we know that whole foods are the best way for us to get all the essential nutrients that we need to prevent deficiency and to help our body systems work effectively. So whole foods provide us with a variety of nutrients, not just single ones like supplements do. And some of these as well, these variety of nutrients, can help support others to be absorbed and used properly in the body. They also provide essential fibre and they contain protective antioxidants as well. And another thing is that supplements are also often very expensive. So we need to focus on building a balanced plate at each meal, and I want you to go and check out the infographic on my website. I'll link it below the video as well, which helps to show you how you can build a balanced plate at each meal. And we need to make sure we're including at least 5 portions of our fruit and vegetables per day, because this all in together helps to provide our body's immune system and our body with the essential nutrients that needs to function. So number 2 is gut health. So our gut represents almost 70% of our entire immune system, so we really need to be looking after it. The first way we can look after our gut is by eating fibre, which we can get from vegetables, from fruit, from whole grains, from legumes, nuts and seeds as well. Now we should be aiming for 30 different plant foods a week. And I'd encourage you to write down a list of the different plant foods that you've had that include all of the ones that I've just mentioned, and see how you're doing on terms of that scale. And if you're not very high on that number, then perhaps see how you can include some different whole grains or different varieties of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds over the next few days to make sure you're getting in that 30, that magic kind of 30 number. And secondly, polyphenol rich foods. So polyphenols give fruits and vegetables their lovely, wonderful, vibrant colour, and can also be found in olive oil, green tea, dark chocolate and red wine. You can thank me later for those ones. And finally, we can help to support our gut health by including probiotic foods or fermented foods in our diet. And these are things like yogurt, so natural live yogurt, kefir yogurt or other kefirs, sauerkraut and kimchi. And I have an article on my website dedicated to fermented foods and why they're so great, so go and check that out if you're interested and want to read more. Number 3 is exercise. So exercise can have an anti-inflammatory impact through various means on our body, and it can also help to improve immune regulation. So getting outside in the fresh air, go and do some exercise, or do some from the comfort of your own home. Go for a walk, go for a run, go for a cycle. If you can't leave the house because you're on isolation, then do a home workout. There's loads of great ones on YouTube. My two favourite ones are, one's the Body Coach for short HIIT sessions, and Sophie Deer is my cousin and an amazing yoga teacher, and I love to do her YouTube videos from home as well. Now, number 4 is stress. So our ability to fight off infection and disease is reduced when we are stressed. So we definitely all need to calm down. Panic around this is not going to help us mentally, but it's also not going to help us physically either. So we need to work on building stress reducing practices into our daily life. So again, things like walking outside in a green space, yoga, meditation. I love the Calm app, but I know that Headspace is great too. Things like dancing around your kitchen, laughing, reading, taking a bath, just relaxing and taking some downtime. Also, stay away from social media and unfollow anyone who is negatively impacting the way you feel. And I have found it really helpful to only check in once a day on the coronavirus updates, so that I can ensure that I am keeping up to date with what's going on, so that I'm abreast of it, but so that I'm not overwhelming myself. And I also make sure, and I would recommend this, that you only get your information from either the government or NHS websites. And the last one, number 5, is sleep. So without sufficient sleep, our bodies actually make fewer cytokines, and these are a type of protein that targets infection and inflammation and effectively creates that immune response. So we need to focus on really getting in those 8 hours and getting quality sleep as well. So tips for this, one is no screens an hour before bed. So do something else like taking a bath or reading, or perhaps doing some gentle meditation or yoga. If you do have to look at your screens for work, then perhaps try putting them on night mode. I know that a lot of computers and a lot of phones enable you to do that now. Or get a pair of blue light blocking glasses. I bought some recently and I think they've been really helpful. I bought them from a company called Foxman Frames, and I can link to it as well in the video. The other one is get outside in the daylight in the morning, because this helps to regulate our sleep-wake cycle, so our circadian rhythm. So that one's a really important one as well. So perhaps go for a walk in the morning and get out in that daylight. And the last one is don't have your phone in your bedroom. And if you do have to have it for an alarm, then make sure you put it on airplane mode so that it doesn't light up or vibrate in the night and disrupt your sleep pattern. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I hope that you're all doing well and keeping well, and we'll see you again soon.